Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. My amendment today would eliminate the mandatory minimums established under this bill. Now I got all these remarks, but let me just talk to y'all very real. We have seen, and a number of people have admitted that they have practiced criminal law at some point in time in their lives. We have tried mandatory minimums I don't know how many times, and every single time we have failed. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. And frankly, I don't know if y'all believe that there is going to be, some kind of phone call, telegraph, or what will take place off into all of these foreign lands that says, you know what? We have increased the mandatory minimums, and so now you should be deterred. That is not going to happen. This is not successful. We have tried it over and over, and we have always failed. What we should do is focus on why is it that people would risk their lives to come to this country? Exactly what could be so bad going on where they are from that they would say, you know what, I will risk being incarcerated because I need to go and get that job doing the jobs that most Americans don't want to do.
Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett just dismantled the GOP's push for mandatory minimums, and she didn't hold back. From calling out failed policies to quoting a Trump-backed Supreme Court decision, she brought fire and facts. This is one of the most honest takedowns we've seen on immigration, incarceration, and constitutional rights, and you need to see it.
Whether it is working on the farms or whether it's out there doing construction or whatever jobs it is that they have done to contribute to our economy, the question should be, how can we fix immigration? And I can tell you for sure that mandatory minimums have never fixed anything in this country, and I don't anticipate it's going to fix this. The final point that I'll make before I have to go back to something else that we were talking about earlier is that we are not given the resources to those that are incarcerating folk already. So now we want to leave people incarcerated for longer amounts of time. We literally just had a hearing with the Bureau of Prisons, and they were talking about the fact that they are under-resourced. And so now that they're under-resourced, why not pile onto them and give them extra work? I mean, we somehow, or y'all somehow, found a way to make sure that ICE could get up to $42,000 worth of a bonus per person, yet the Bureau of Prisons, they get absolutely nothing except for what? More bodies that they need to somehow take care of? I don't think that that makes good sense. That is not fiscally responsible. I know y'all know that term. So I think that we should definitely vote for my amendment because we want to be fiscally responsible, and this is fiscally irresponsible. All right. Now, let me get to this other point. I was going to introduce this as a UC, and I will do that as well. Because I don't know why we still arguing about what the Constitution say. I'm still confused. So let me tell you what the Supreme Court had to say. In the decision AARP et al. Versus Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, this is the opinion that came down May 16th, 2025 regarding the Texas situation. It specifically says on page 3, so you don't have to read too far, in paragraph number 2, it says, the Fifth Amendment entitles aliens to due process of law in the context of removal proceedings. And they were quoting Trump v. JGG, which is also a 2025 case. They go on to say procedural due process rules are meant to protect against the mistaken or unjustified deprivation of life, liberty, or property. That's why we've been talking about Abrego. And then the next sentence goes on to say, we have long held that no person shall be removed from the United States without opportunity at some time to be heard. I'd like to enter the Supreme Court decision. I don't even like this Supreme Court. I want to point that out. I would like to enter this into the record for all those that don't understand what the Constitution says. And it's been reaffirmed by, this is Trump's Supreme Court. That's why I don't like it. I'm just being honest. It's been reaffirmed by his Supreme Court. Unanimous consent, Mr. Chair.
Without objection.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Jasmine Crockett proposed an amendment to eliminate mandatory minimums in a new GOP immigration bill, and what followed was a masterclass in both legal clarity and moral courage. She didn't just cite stats or talk in circles. She spoke plainly, powerfully, and with lived legal experience. Her message? Mandatory minimums don't work. We've tried them over and over, and every time they've failed. Why? Because they don't actually deter crime. They just overcrowd prisons and ruin lives. She points out something politicians rarely say out loud. People risk everything to come to this country not to break laws, but to survive, to work the jobs most Americans don't want to do. And instead of fixing immigration, this bill chooses punishment over policy. Then she takes it further, hitting the heart of the issue: resources. The Bureau of Prisons is underfunded. ICE is handing out $42,000 bonuses. And now we want to lock people up for even longer? Crockett asks the question nobody on the other side wants to answer: is that really fiscally responsible? Because it sure doesn't sound like it. And just when you think she's done, she drops a constitutional truth bomb. She references a May 2025 Supreme Court ruling, AARP Trump. In it, even Trump's own Supreme Court unanimously reaffirmed that the Fifth Amendment gives due process protections to immigrants in removal proceedings. That means no matter how you feel about immigration, the Constitution still applies. No person can be removed without a chance to be heard. That's not opinion. That's the law. And as Crockett says, I don't even like this Supreme Court, but they got this one right. If you're tired of performative politics and want more voices like Rep. Crockett, who cut through the noise, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss a single moment like this. We break down the hearings that matter and why they matter every single week. What Jasmine Crockett did wasn't just political theater, it was real leadership. She made it clear, our laws, our resources, and our Constitution are being used as weapons, and it's time we paid attention. This is about more than party lines. It's about justice, responsibility, and the kind of country we want to be. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay informed, stay grounded, and I'll see you in the next one.